it up.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan here at the 2021 Chicago Auto Show, talking everything Subaru, every vehicle that they have inside every one. So we're gonna go through Subaru a little quickly here. There's a lot of redundancy with their vehicles. Actually, they've got Forester here, Outback here, and Outback there. They've got a lot of redundancy with their models that they have here. So we're gonna go through them quite kind of quickly here. Interesting that Subaru has such a big space in this place, because you've got, you know, Nissan space is not even as big as Subaru's, and they have more models than Subaru, but we're gonna go through every one of them. I told you guys, even if it's redundant, so you're not gonna get super detailed in either one of them, but we're gonna go through each product, okay? All right guys, here we are at Subaru with our first one. This is the Subaru Outback. Now we're gonna assume that each one of these vehicles are at least a 2021 or newer, as none of the Subaru models actually have any pricing or year model indication on them. But I wanted to show you this. Well, we're going to assume these are 2021. One thing I like about this, other than the green color here, is actually this top stitching of green. This is called the Onyx Edition. Unfortunately, the controls are all off on here, so we're not being able to see what the screen looks like. But it does have 2 USBs and an auxiliary port. Maybe a little bit better if that was, instead of an auxiliary, a USB-C. There is a wireless charger right here and no other charging method. Well, there's a 9-volt inside here, but no other charging methods that I see. This is okay, and I've driven these vehicles before, and if you're looking at getting a Subaru, you should drive one before, because they are known for their CVTs, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. You've also got a smaller sunroof here. The leather trim is nice, and I love this green top stitching. Let's go check out the back. Plenty of room back here, definitely. Without even getting in, I can already tell you. Yeah, this is really nice. For connectivity back here, you've got 2 USBs, no USB-C. You've got 2-stage heated seats for the back seats as well. Alright guys, just real quickly, I just want to show you this other Forester that's on the floor here. Now, of course, this is not the Onyx, this is the Touring, so the letters are not blacked out like they were on the Onyx. And really quickly, I'm just going to show you guys inside this one what it looks like in the front. So you can see this is the difference between the Onyx and a little bit more luxurious Touring version of this. Now this is an Outback. This is their Wilderness one. Now, much like Ford is doing, having that special trim where it's more rugged, this Subaru is doing the same thing. I think Subaru actually did it first, and you've got this Outback, which is a lot more cladding. You've got the tow hook, I guess, where the tow hooks would be on the front here. This really nice color is blue. A lot of people this year are doing, and maybe this is a trend, is doing this gold or bronze accents on, seeing that on a lot of vehicles here. This Outback looks really cool in this blue. I like this badging too, actually. It's quite substantial. Of course, being an Subaru, they are all 4-wheel drive. Alright guys, this is the Subaru Forester. This one sits a little bit higher off the ground, notably than the Outback. A little bit more controls here. Here you've got the heat controls, all of your drive gear selections right here. Now the screen is not as big as what we saw in the Outback. As you can see, you've got this overhang here with additional controls right here. That's very interesting layout right there. Pretty much all the controls that we saw before continue over onto the Forester. We're gonna go in the back. In the back seat, you have 2-stage heating and cooling and connectivity. You have USB, standard USBs on here. Now this is the Touring, like we did see the Touring of the Outback version. So this is going to be a more luxurious version of it. These are electronically folding now rear seats. Now they fold electronically down, but they do not fold back up. But on the back of them, you do have a rubberization to make it easy to slide things in and out and to protect your seat backs. Now for Subaru, we've seen the Onyx version, we've seen a touring version. Now this is the sport version. This is the Forester Sport. Again, we're gonna see, you know, what changes. Of course, you've got styling cues here that will indicate it. Much like, again, this is the trend. We see a lot of oranges and a lot of bronze for our sport models. All right, guys, I'm gonna go to the back first. And interesting enough, you have this material that's on the doors. This material is also carried on in the center part of the seats. It's a pretty coarse fabric. Think of, I don't know, a couch material. This is not something that probably won't be too easy to clean. Now the outsides of it does have this pleather, which is not a leather, but we'll call it leather. Top stitching of this orange, also an indication of the sport trim. The sunroof is a lot bigger than what we saw on the other models, reaching halfway into the rear occupant section. It does help to liven it up, open it up, especially with this darker color, but it also has helped with the light colored headliner. We're gonna jump to the front here. And again, you've got these orange accents. Whether or not this is your style or you can get a sport version without these, you'll have to talk to the dealer and find out. I don't know. Again, though, you've got this infotainment screen here, when unfortunately is not on for this display purpose. And you've got two right here. Again, it's a little cumbersome. You should test drive this vehicle and just to see if this is, you know, going to fit you, as far as, you know, if you're going to be comfortable in there, because this center tunnel actually does a little bit impede on your knee room for both the driver and the passenger. I think the layout in the Forester, the Outback is a bit nicer. But again, this one, you do ride higher off the ground. Not a fan, to be honest, about this. This feels like an old couch. I don't like that at all. But if you like it, Subaru's got it for you. Also part of the sport package, you do have the dark wheels, which I must admit, they are not the nicest looking dark wheels. But all right, guys, this vehicle in front of us in this very baby blue color, this is the Subaru Crosstrek. This is going to be a little bit smaller than your Outback, but still just as capable, because of course all Subarus do have the all-time four-wheel drive system. Like we saw in the sport models, this does have the top stitching in orange, but unlike what we saw in the other one, it doesn't have the leather and then cloth. This is different cloth. This is actually a different material altogether in this one, which is much nicer than what we saw in the Forester Sport. We're gonna check out the back here. We've got a parcel cover here. The materials in this one, I say, are far and better. So if you're not going to get a leather, I would definitely suggest look at the Crosstrek and see a list. If you want this material on the Forester, see if you're able to option it, because this is much better. Again, you have the same kind of layout that you got in the Forester, not in the Outback. So whether or not you like this or not, you have to get in the car. Again, this tunnel here kind of impedes on your knee room. So if you're going to get this vehicle, it's imperative that you go out and actually drive it, because that might be a deal breaker for you, depending on your body type and your style of driving preference. All right, guys, here's another Crosstrek that they have on the floor, but this is the sport one. Now, the sport one, if you can see, has, again, it continues the top stitching right here. This is in the accent yellow, and the other one had the accent orange. This is really nice here. You've got the embroiderment on the back of the seats. So on this one, the sport model, they've got the yellow actually also in the steering wheel here, and that's really nice. Not overly done. You also have the stitching right around the steering wheel here. If this was a Lamborghini, that would be a $700 option. That is really cool that they've got this there. Again, guys, I said it before, check out the tunnel because, you know, it kind of gets into your, like this is my foot on the gas and I'm leaning right against this. So that might become annoying for you. I know it would for me. Everything's pretty much the same as far as between the Sport and the regular one that we saw. These seats are the leather seats. These are actually very comfortable. Not very much bolstering in them, but they are smooth. They are very smooth, actually. All right, guys, this is the Ascent. This is going to be the tallest and largest of the Subaru models. Now, this one that we're looking at particularly right now, this is a touring model. So this is ideally going to be the one that's going to be your most luxurious. It's going to have a lot of features. I believe they also have a sport model. We'll go check out that in a second here. Actually, really quickly, I want to show you the other Ascent model that they have here. Now, this one is not the sport one. This is not the touring one, but this is really nice. Now, even though that this one has this tunnel that we saw in the Crosstrek, this one is a little bit more space here on the tunnel because it doesn't flare out as much. So you should be a little bit more comfortable in this one. Also, you are sitting higher. You do have more room overall in this vehicle. You've got a panoramic, well, semi-panoramic, I guess you could say, sunroof here. You've got a secondary mirror here to go check on the kids without looking in your rear view mirror. And of course, all of the safety controls, adaptive cruise control, heated steering wheel, lane keeping, lane detection, and now we're looking at both of the Subaru right here. This is the Limited model, and the blue one right there, that is the Touring. Now, I believe the Limited is the higher spec vehicle. Again, there's no pricing on any of the Subaru models for me to really confirm these things with you guys, unfortunately. Now, again, the biggest advantage to having the Ascent is that you do have 3 rows. Now, whether they're usable 3 rows, I don't know. Let's see. And yeah, there is some room there. Now, the seats do go back, and this seat is reclined backwards too. That could also help with that. But it's about what you'd expect from a vehicle that is, you know, not a Subaru, not a Suburban or a Tahoe. I'm actually going to try to fit back there. Let's see. So I'm going to sit back in this. Yeah, my knees are right up against here. It's actually really hard. Let me get out of here because the kids are coming. All right. Anyways, this is what the back seat looks like. Unfortunately, no, nothing for the back seat occupants to do. Oh, on this side there are 2 USBs, but only on one side. So I can see a lot of fights happening right there. Only on one side. Definitely not as well equipped as a lot of the other vehicles that we saw with 3 rows. And then you have this really little cargo space. We're gonna go outside so you can see it in better light. All right, guys, here's the back of the Ascent. I'll show you what I was talking about as far as cargo space. There's really not much here. Now, these back seats, they do recline. So any reclining towards the cargo area is going to minimize what you're able to put back here. So this is going to be one of those vehicles that if you really need the 3rd row, you use it. If you don't need it, you're probably going to leave that 3rd row flat because it's not very usable. All right, guys, I'm going to show you really quickly. This is the Ascent. This is the Onyx edition. Now, we saw the Touring. We also saw the Limited. This is the Onyx, and of course, we see it because everything is black. All the badging is black. The wheels are black. We're going to go inside. I'm going to show you really quickly. And this is what it looks like. So, this is a 7-seat configuration. There's a really nice moonroof in his back as well.
That is a lot of room in the back too.
All right, guys, here we're looking at the Subaru Impreza. This is a nameplate that has been around the market for a long time, pretty much as long as there's been Subaru, there has been an Impreza. It's it's great to see that this vehicle is still going on, especially since that the hatchback market, of course, is not the strongest market here in America. You've got this, you've got the center tunnel that's here. On this one, I will tell you, it does not impede on you like it does in the Crosstrek. I don't know why that one's formed a little bit differently. So this one is actually fine. You have plenty of room. Of course, you have all of your safety equipment, because I believe Subaru is putting all that in their cars as standard now, which is important because there's a lot of other vehicles that are brands that are doing that as well. So if you want all-wheel drive, but still a frame that's still very much a sedan, the Subaru Legacy may be the vehicle for you. Now, this is a touring model, so this is going to have a lot more nicer things than we would see, I guess, in the sport applications of the vehicle. This is very nice. Now, a couple of things worth noting. This has the vertical gauge cluster or infotainment that you see in the Outback. So the Crosstrek didn't, the Ascent didn't. This has it. This is a very modern take, and I hope the other vehicles in the lineup will be going to this, because this is very modern and it will stay and it won't age as quickly as what you're seeing over there. This is very modern and really helps to liven up the vehicle. Of course, you still have all of your safety controls here. The sunroof is a traditional sunroof. In fact, it does not stretch all the way to the back, but you know, it's fine. It's a sedan. This leather is fine. It's very nice. Of course, there is a Napa leather here, saying that this is Napa leather. You can actually feel the difference from all the leather vehicles that I've been in earlier. This is very nice. And in fact, this also, while they could have made this plastic, this is a leather, which real stitching on top. This is very well done, Subaru. It's a good job. I mean, they could have put plastic and gloss black in places, but they really didn't. I mean, this is gloss black, but it's not overly done. They've got this silver here that breaks up the leather and the gloss black, and then you've got another material right here on top. It's done a really good job. I'm very impressed with this vehicle. Something else I want to show you guys before my battery dies. Something else I want to show you guys is that this trunk is actually very much square. This is a complete square here, making things really easy to go inside. The load lip on it is also not, the load lip on it is also not high. It's actually right above my knees, so that's not going to be hard. If you do need to lower those rear seats, they do have tethers right here. You just pull them down, and they're not spring loaded. I guess they're not spring loaded. They just unlatch. You'll need to go on the other side to actually open them, but we're going to pull it down here. And they fold down just like all the other Subaru we see. There is some rubberization on the back of the seat to help protect the vehicle. Alright guys, this is the Subaru WRX STI. Of course, this is the one that everybody is lining up to see. Well, all the kids, all the boy racers are here checking out this vehicle. They've also unfortunately removed the shifter because I'm sure everyone will be here taking it. Nothing much has changed with the STI since they did. Now, we are expecting a new STI soon, but still there's no word on when it's coming out. And since then, Subaru has been launching a lot of finals. And this is not the new one yet, but there is a new one coming. But I just wanted to give you my friends had one for a while, and honestly, nothing has changed. Go ahead, please. Thank you. And nothing's changed, but this is still a very iconic vehicle in the fact that, it is a Subaru STI. It does still have a manual. It has that rally car heritage. So this is a car that everyone, more than any other car at the show, this is the one that everyone's looking under the hood at. This is the one that everybody knows about. So we're going to go, if you don't do the STI, we also have the WRX here. Thank you. Now this is another one that they have here. This is the WRX that they have on display here. Really quickly, I'm going to show you guys inside of the regular WRX. Not too much different from what we saw in the STI. All right, guys, another car that's getting a lot of attention here. This is the Subaru BRZ. We already checked out the Toyota 86, and this is very much like that. Of course, this has that almost even in the same paint color that we saw that Toyota is showing the 86 in. This is the BRZ. All right, guys, that's everything Subaru here at the Chicago Auto Show. Again, I'm surprised that Subaru has such a big floor space, but it might be because they have a petting zoo going on back here. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye. I gotta get out of these kids. Bye.